Well, hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Argsy Farms here on the Oaks Realistic Multiplayer server. We are into February. We're halfway through February or a little bit more, and we've just been spending the last couple of months really getting things sorted out, making sure our animals are all well taken care of, get them fed, get them watered, get them in straw, so they've got plenty of bedding, and they're all nice and happy, which is good. But we've actually missed the window of what I wanted to do, but we're not too far off it. We do need to add some more, so we've got the truck over there all set up ready to run down and buy another. I think we can fit another 25 in there, so I do just need to figure out how many we're going to put in each time. I think our magic number is about 22 or 23, so we might just put in 22, and that'll allow us to have sort of 88 running on a regular cycle. We can fit 90 into the pen, so that might be the plan, although 75 we can only buy 15 this time anyhow, so that answers that question. So that is the plan. Now we've also got the greenhouses over here, and we haven't really done anything with these. We've been sort of testing them. We've been running the tomatoes, lettuce and strawberries through them just to see which is going to be the best in the long run. And I think looking at time saving stock check, now's the best time to sell them, although my intention was to try and sell these when they are ready rather than keeping hold of them, just because you're not going to store lettuce for 6 months or 7 months waiting for the best price. But we're at the stage now where we are at the good price. You can see there we've got just on 8,000 tomatoes, 12,000 litres of lettuce and 24,000 litres of strawberry. But if we take a look at time saving stock check, there is a very clear winner on what we should be producing and outputting from the greenhouse. So you can see there our lettuces currently have a price of about $12,500 compared to our tomatoes and strawberries for $6,500. So lettuce more than double anything else, and the good thing is it's not a huge crop in terms of output. Strawberries is going to be a lot of handling, so that is going to be another challenge for today. We're going to try and come down and get these all loaded up onto the flatbed trailer, and we're going to run it down to the sell point. There's such a small margin of difference for the lettuces and tomatoes in terms of price that we're going to go and take them all to wherever the best price for the lettuces is. But moving on from there, we're getting to the point of almost being ready for planting. So main task today is to start and get some things ready. I didn't leave that tractor like that. What on earth has happened there? That's a little bit strange. I was in here earlier feeding the animals, getting things sorted, and that tractor certainly was not on its side there. Right, well, looks like we're going to be fixing a tractor, getting that back up on its side. But the other thing is obviously getting ready for planting. So we've got a window coming up soon, March, to plant some wheat. We're going to put a couple of fields of wheat in. We've got some canola to plant. We do have a window to be able to do that in March and April. And we've got a little bit more grass to plant. So that's kind of where we're sitting with our plans. Now if I just head on in here into this shed here on the right, a lot of our equipment is set up. We did take the chance before the end of the year to go down and buy our seed. So I think we've got, what have we got here? Couple of bags of wheat seed and a couple of bags of canola seed, which is good. So that's that all sorted. We're going to have to grab another bag to be able to do some to plant some grass. We don't have any grass seed, so we're going to have to go down and get that. But we've got some herbicide there, we've got the DEF as well, and we've got some fertilizer around the back in the fertilizer tank. So that's kind of the plan. Because we are so close, I know there's a bit of frost on the ground at the moment, a bit of ice, and it's a bit cool around. But we might actually try and take out our mulcher and give a couple of fields of mulch, and just to see whether we can do a little bit of field work in advance of March when things are going to become a little bit busier. There you go. There is our mulcher. So that's the plan for today. We'll see how we go with all of those, see how far we get. First things first, we're going to go and jump in the truck, head on down to the animal dealer and go and pick up a few more animals. So we're just pulling in down here at the animal dealer. Status quo, we've been down here plenty of times and you've seen it, but let's just get pulled in here. Got a car behind us. Head on around to the left and we'll go and pick up our 15 Angus bulls. Well, they'll be Angus calves, of course. We do get them at calf age, but there is the trigger, so we'll just get pulled in through that and we'll get things loaded up. So there we are, male Angus calves. did say we want 15 of those, so we'll get those in there, 4.5 grand, get those purchased, done, and we'll head on down and get them unloaded into our animal pen. Now you might notice we're up to, well, we were up to $510,000. We have of course had our end of year subsidies from the local council. I think we picked up around about $170,000 from those, I think, from memory. Might have been 150, can't remember exactly. We do have to pass some of that on to Dazed for the canola field, for the field that we own 2/3 of and he has 1/3. So we do need to pass that on. We have still got our canola to sell as well. We haven't passed that back down through to Bovine to his oil production just yet. We were kind of sitting on the fence about what we were going to do with that, but of course you have to recall that some of that is Dazed as well. So a few more things to do, a few more things to spend a little bit of money, or get some money from, not spend some money on, but get some money in from. But we are contemplating purchasing another field, so fingers crossed as I go racing out of that intersection. Really should have slowed down a little bit more than that, but fortunately there wasn't any cars coming our direction. But yeah, like I said, we are hoping to be able to pick up another field very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. There's one I've got my eye on. It's already been planted, so we're not actually going to have to do anything for it. Maybe get and do some crop sampling, some soil sampling on it, and see if we can make some subtle improvements to it without doing too much damage to the crop that's in there already. So yeah, like I said, keep an eye out for that. But let's get this back on down, get these guys all unloaded, and then I think we'll hook up the low loader, the flatbed trailer, and we'll head on down, try and get some of these productions sold out of the greenhouse. Alright, well there we are, we're back here and we've got everything all unloaded, all the animals in there. So that is us with a full pen, 90 animals in there. You can see that down in the bottom there, full of food, decent amount of water, they're full of straw and still producing their slurry and manure, which of course has been going to TW Productions. They have been taking that off our hands and getting that converted into some fertilizer. So that's been a good little deal, a little bit of regular income coming through for us as we go. So next plan, let's go and grab the massive from around there, take that off the feed mixer, and then we're going to go and grab the trailer, get that brought over here and see about getting some of these production, these lettuces, etc., all loaded up and go and get them sold. So we managed to get the tractor back up on all four wheels like it should be. Got the trailer there all hooked up, ready to go. Now I'm pretty sure that the pallets will spawn down this side, so let's just go and jump in here, find a trigger just inside the doors, get in here, a little bit warmer in here than it is outside, bring up the trigger there, and I think we can go to the lettuce. Okay, and we can choose how many we want to spawn. We've got pallets of 500 litres, we've got 12,000 litres to spawn, so that should be 24 pallets. So try and go 21, 23. So that's the maximum there, because obviously for whatever reason it hasn't given us the full amount. And they have spawned all the way down the side there, and you can see them all popping up. And in a nice, neat row. So what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We tried to spawn 23, I don't know where the rest are, we'll have to go and find those. I wonder if they spawn when we get these ones out of the way. But let's go ahead, we're going to jump in and try and get these loaded up as best we can. I'm just trying to figure out, we might have to stack them 3 high, maybe 4 high. If the forks were long enough, we could actually try and pick up 2 at once and then just stack them on top of each other 2 by 2. So we'll see how we go with that. Obviously not ideal to be using bale forks here, we should get some pallet forks, but we're just going to have to make do with what we've got. And we might even think about possibly upgrading, we might look at getting a telehandler or something like that for around the yard, and sort of retire this little 5 Series and use it just for other farm work, rather than maybe put it on hay equipment, grass equipment, rather than being a loading tractor as much as it has been. So let's jump in here, go and see how we get on. Well, it's not perfect, but it has worked. We have managed to pick up 2 at a time. They're certainly not quite long enough for doing this, but it might just have to be what we're just going to do for now. It's one of those times when auto load would have been a nice little assistant to have, but when we're playing on a realistic server, no such luck with that. Alright, let's see if we can get this lined up a little bit better. I think something better for pallets might have to be in the consideration, whether it's a little forklift, a telehandler, or something else. I'm not sure what's going to be best, but let's see if we can get these to detach out of here as well. All sorts of problems, I think. I think these forks are going to cause us a little bit of a nightmare. Here we go, we're not even going to get that unhooked. Well, it is going to fall off. Right, this is not going to work as well as I had hoped it would. We may have to go and look at some alternative options. Right, well, this is going to be a very short-lived experiment at this rate. I'm not going to tell you how long it has taken for me to get those 3 pallets put up on there. These bale forks certainly are not the right tool or the right piece of equipment to be using for this. So I'm now in 2 minds. I kind of want to try carrying on using with the front loader. I don't want to spend, I mean, the cheapest forklift's $30,000. I don't want to get too carried away with doing that. What I am just wondering, we might make it in Mercy Dash. I know obviously Dave's just down the road. He's got some forklifts in his pallets, in his potato shed. I just wonder whether we might be able to borrow one of those for a couple of hours just to get these loaded up. I'm sure he won't mind. We seem to have a pretty good working relationship. So short of being able to get in touch with him, which I know I'm not going to be able to at this time, we might just see if we can shoot down and pick one of them up on the back of the wheel loader, on the back of the low loader here on the trailer, and come back and see if we can use that. And that can be a little bit of a test to see if perhaps a forklift might be what we need to use, or whether it's something to do with these pallets and whether we've got a little bit of a difficulty with them, in which case the greenhouse might not be here for too much longer. But let's go and see. We'll go for a drive down, see if we can get into his shed and borrow one of his forklifts. Well, luckily we know the code to the gate and everything is all open and accessible. And Dazed, he runs a tight ship. You can have a look at this pallet stacking. Look at that. He's actually got 2 forklifts down here, so I'm sure he won't miss one for a short period. Let's just have a look at his cool stores here. Look at those. How many boxes of potatoes he's got in there, all neatly stacked up. Fantastic effort, fantastic. Right, let's grab hold of this one. And before we took it, I did just want to double check it had a decent amount of electrical charge. We don't want to get stuck with a flat battery or anything like that, but this one's fully charged, so we should be good. Let's just go and see if we can get it up here on the back of the trailer. Spin it around and load it on up. Go. It should have been a bit straighter on. Just enough power. Yes, it does. Right, there we go. I probably could have done a little bit of a test there with the pallets we already had, but we'll make do with that. Right, turn that off. Leave that there. Put a couple of straps over it. Go. That should be strapped down. Doesn't show visually, but they are there. Couple more and we should be good to go. So we'll go and get things folded up. Mark looks like he's just logged into the server. Get that door closed, and Daze won't even know we've been here. I will tell him though. Right, get out, we'll get the gate closed again, and we'll be back down to our yard. Look at that, just as we're getting back here, Mark's come to grab his truck. So very kindly waited for us. Give him a honk. There we go. Let's go and see now. See if we can have a little bit more success loading these pallets with the forklift rather than with our front loader, which, like I said, might help us make a decision of what we're going to do with things. We'll park the trailer back in about the same spot. We'll get that tractor out of the way, ramps down, and we'll get things unloaded. Right, let's have a look and see here whether the forklift is going to be any better for these. Just have to move that in a little bit closer. Make sure we get ourselves nice and square on the pallets. And look at that, I think that's already proving things are going to be a little bit easier here with this. Can we get them both? Does look like we can, which is great. Alright, next challenge will be to try and stack them up 3 high, or at least 3 across on top of here, because we can fit 3 pallets across. Height-wise, not an issue. Make sure we don't get too close to the front of the trailer. Now I think this forklift actually can side shift. Which way is it? There we go. We can slide those in sideways. We must have been at the limit of our adjustment. No, we were too far across. So we move back, try and do that once more. There we go. Slide that across that way. About as good as we're going to get, I think. Let's just get that backed out of there. Things weren't quite perfect, but that's better than it was, right? There we go. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but we'll try and tidy things up as we go along. Right, let's carry on, let's get these loaded up. This is going to be a lot easier, I think, than what we were going to be battling with. So we'll see once we've done a few more. Well, there we go. That forklift made things much easier, as did having Mark coming and give us a hand with his telehandler. Never easy to do, but we've managed to get... How many have we got up there? We've got... There's 9 in each row, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. 6 9s, quick maths, 54. So there's 54 pallets up on there already, and we've got a few left of the strawberries to go. So we'll get that strapped over, and let's just double check where we're going to go to get these sold. It's based on our lettuce price. We're heading to the extended sale station, so I'm hoping this is the one just down the road. It is indeed. There we go, just down here, which is in behind, that's one's behind the restaurant. So we'll just head down here, just down the road, not too far to go, and we'll go and get these sold, see what we get off this load, and then we'll be back to get the rest of the strawberries picked up. So we've left the convenient tag on there so we can see exactly where it is we need to go. Now, I think we do have to go in this entrance. There's not another one, so get ourselves turned in here. We'll go right out and around. We'll go and make sure we can get this all unloaded. Hopefully the trigger's big enough that it's going to take it off the back of the trailer. We don't have to go through and unload them manually or something silly like that. We've had that experience recently. Right. Just get drived in through here. We'll jump out of the tractor, and you can already see those starting to go down, so that's perfect. Should we stay in the trigger, unstrap everything so it can all tumble down, but you can see that is rapidly all disappearing. Wait and see how much we've got off everything. Of course it's all going to be lumped in one go. Interesting to see whether we get a precision farming bonus off this. Not sure if we will, being a production. There we go, last of everything. Oh, we did get an environmental bonus, $1,800. So what's that? Pretty much 20 grand then, 18.6 and just over $20,000 for that lot. And we've got a little bit more to go. So not too bad. I'm not going to complain about it. Paid for the animals we bought and a little bit more. The whole idea was that this would try and potentially cover our loan interest of about $10,000 a month. So if we can get into lettuces and producing the lettuces every month, then it might make it worthwhile. Anyhow, let's get back down, get the last of the strawberries loaded up, get them all down and sold, and then we'll be finished with the greenhouse for a wee while until we get it filled up again. It's not the most attractive load of strawberries, but it's stacked, and this is all of them, 17,500 litres. So we'll get this parked in over the sell point here, and we'll let this all count down and see what we get paid for this one. Obviously won't be quite as much. We've said about the different prices that we get for the different products, and certainly the lettuce did seem to be the most lucrative, but let's just wait and see what we end up with once all of these pallets have unloaded. Get that last little tick across. 4.7 plus the 4, it's about 5 grand. So, you know, for a load that didn't have any lettuce on it, it was very similar in pallet numbers, not quite the same, but it was, what, almost a quarter of what we got off the last load. So definitely goes to show there are some real benefits to choosing whichever crop you want to do. So we've reactivated the greenhouse, it is up and running again, getting us some lettuces produced, and that will be our sole focus moving forward. So that is all done. We need to go and get the forklift delivered back down to Dave's, put that back in his shed. He won't even know it was missing. And then we might go and hook up to the mulcher and go and run that around a couple of fields and see how it all goes. Well, there we go, we've got everything sold, and the forklift is back down in Dave's sheds. He won't even have a clue that it's moved, even though I probably parked it back in a different location facing a different direction, but we'll wait and see if he finds out. Right, we're going to head down into the 2 fields over the back, 34 and 35. They are the ones we're planning on putting some wheat into. This field in here on our right, I'm planning on putting some canola into, and then the field we're going to buy, or planning to buy, thinking about buying, currently has oats in it, so that'll give us a good mix of some cereals with the wheat and oats, and obviously the canola here as well. So that is pretty much the plan. The shared field with Dazed, haven't talked about that yet, but he is going to put potatoes into that this season. Well, that's the plan at least. And as part of that, we're actually considering, we had talked about, because of the shape, just to try and even it up a little bit to make potatoes a little bit easier to do, running some grass around as a headland, and then we'd be able to mow that grass and take that off for making some silage or some hay or whatever it is we need to. So that could be a good little deal for us. But let's head on around the corner. We'll go and get down to these 2 fields, get this set up and get it going. Alright, so here we are. Let's get this unfolded. I was down there, should flick those arms out. Yes, it has. Double check actually, do we hook the hoses up? Yeah, we did. It wouldn't be working if it didn't. There you go, you can see them all connected. Let that get all unfolded. There we go. Now, we don't need to power it on or anything, we just lower it down. And I'm going to be intrigued if it will take out the weeds. And it does, good. So that's going to make it a little bit easier for us to see exactly where we've been. Crikey, it flies. The world's fastest mulcher. I don't think we quite want to go that fast. We're trying to set our speed limit there to 18 miles per hour. At least it means we're going to get through this field very quick, but it makes it a little bit hard to drive in a straight line when you are running that fast. Back in there. Oops, I've pressed the wrong button again and lifted it up. Don't do too many things at once there. I think we are going to button that speed back down. That's really not feeling that good. So I think if we jump into that cruise control and be able to go and button our speed up, maybe 12 miles per hour. There we go. That sounds a little bit more reasonable. Right, we'll set it at 12 and we will go and see how we go. That's actually going at 16 though, isn't it? Interesting. I wonder why that is. Anyhow, we'll use a little bit of VCA, I think, in this field. Be a good one to run around in. But before we do that, I do just want to double check. Let's just have a look on the map. Well, I was going to have it double check that it was being mulched. When I looked before, it said needs rolling and weeds. We put those on. We couldn't actually see that these fields have already been mulched. So I think I need to say a huge thank you to Tate for doing that. He would have done that after the last harvest. So we don't actually need to run around these at all. We do need to do field 33 though. So we might jump over, fold things up and head on over into that field and get that one done. Alright, take number 2. Let's see, now we're in this field, whether we're going to get the desired effect. So we will just double check before we carry on any further. Have a look at the map, make sure we are getting this mulch. It does look like it is though. We can see there's the canola stubbles disappeared and the weeds are as well. Let's just have a look. Should get in. Yeah, we go. There we go. Mulching strip coming up along in the back of 33. So with that in mind, let's jump into there. We'll go and try and set ourselves up a course on VCA. That should work just perfectly. We might have to go around the headlands maybe once or twice just to square it off, but that is just due to the nature and shape of the fields. But that's all working. Right, let us carry on. We're going to get this one done and we'll see you when we're finished. Well, there we go. We've finished the mulching. That went reasonably well. A couple of little lag spikes here and there, but otherwise, this thing is pretty fast. We could have done it even faster if we set the speed up a little bit, but this has definitely made it a bit more manageable. So a little bit longer, but a little bit easier to achieve. So let's just run over this last little piece here, and then we'll head on out the entrance, get things folded up, packed away, and head on back over to the farm. Now I am just wondering, I don't know if we can actually go through and mulch our grass field and whether there would be any benefit to that. Not sure. I might do a little bit of research into that rather than just going through and doing it now. I do know we need to get in there and probably put some fertilizer on it and things like that, but for now I think we're just going to worry about getting our arable crops all sorted out and planted. So I think this is probably going to be a perfect place to wrap up today's episode. We are going to be getting into some serious planting over the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for some videos around that. As always, I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.